Muscle cars aren't normally hybrids, but this isn't a normal hybrid. It's more like the future of supercars. As well as a twin-turbocharged 3.5-liter V6, the NSX has 3 electric motors for a system output of 573 horsepower and 476 pounds-feet of torque. While muscle cars are not renowned for their intelligence, the NSX's drivetrain is controlled by computers. They monitor everything, many times each second, and will send different amounts of power to individual wheels so the car can take corners at scary hilarious speeds. Throw most cars into a tight turn and the front tires screech and surrender, braking into understeer. Do that with the NSX and it almost asks, "What else you got?" By rights, this car belongs in a 10 best hot hatchbacks list, but it's so hot that it can drive right into this one, too. A turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder engine makes a stunning 306 horsepower and 295 pounds-feet of torque. That's not the most powerful turbo 4 in production, but it's pretty near the top. A 6-speed manual transmission sends power to the front wheels, and a helical limited slip differential combats understeer where the front tires would turn to mush. In practice, that means honing one's cornering line by attenuating the amount of throttle. It's not the typical kind of muscle car fun, but still an absolute hoot. This is more like a traditional muscle car. It's a premium compact coupe with a big engine up front. Not a V8, but a twin-turbocharged 3-liter V6 making a highly respectable 400 horsepower and 350 pounds-feet of torque. Infiniti says it's the cleanest, most powerful and most fuel-efficient turbo V6 it has ever produced. The Q60 was new for last year, so it's still really fresh. All-wheel drive is available, but as a convincing muscle car, the default rear drive setup works fine. To be clear, just because this top-line version of the Q60 is called Red Sport it doesn't mean that's the only exterior color. It can also come in blue, white, black or silver. This premium mid-size sedan doesn't appear much like a muscle car at first. But a peek under the hood reveals an honest-to-goodness V8 engine, a rarity from the Japanese motor industry. This one is a 5.6-liter rumbler generating 420 horsepower and 417 pounds-feet of torque. That's the sort of push and effortless power delivery we've all come to expect from muscle cars. It's almost begging for the driver to lean an elbow out the window and give it some extra throttle when going through tunnels. Rear-wheel drive is the standard setup, so there might even be scope for tire smoke on occasion. The Q70's makers might wince at such behavior, but surely that's half the fun. This is an all-new model for 2018, based on essentially the same platform as Lexus' upcoming redesign of its LS flagship sedan. And even though the LC is a fresh idea for Lexus, there's something reassuringly traditional about the layout. Propulsion comes courtesy of a 5-liter V8 delivering 471 horsepower and 398 pounds-feet of torque to the rear wheels. And the 20-inch wheels are almost large enough to be called brash. Someone at Lexus gets it, finally. The LC also offers the option of a torque-sensing limited-slip mechanical differential, invented by an American, incidentally.
Thank goodness for Lexus, because if there weren't a few interestingly muscular cars from this mark, its Toyota parent would be coming up completely empty. The RCF is a premium compact coupe with its brand's usual impeccable build quality. But it also has an unusual 5-liter V8 thrumming away under the hood, endowing the car with 467 horsepower and 389 pounds-feet of torque, blasting it from standstill to 60 miles per hour in just 4.4 seconds. Naturally, there are all sorts of clever driver aids as well, like a traction control system that lets the nut behind the wheel slide the tail out a bit before gathering everything up and acting civilized again. We included the 370Z mainly because it fits a little easier into the front-engine rear-drive muscle car template. And Z cars have held a special place in drivers' hearts ever since the earliest versions from the 1970s. The current 370Z enjoys a 3.7-liter V6 making 332 horsepower and 270 pounds-feet of torque. That's a cool amount of power for what is still a cool car. One thing that isn't mentioned much about the 370Z is that it has a carbon fiber drive shaft. That means less weight in general compared with a steel shaft, and also less rotating mass, so throttle response can be even crisper and more precise. The GTR is possibly the ultimate Japanese muscle car. A twin-turbo 3.8-liter V6 is the throbbing heart and all four driven wheels are its sinewy limbs. It's enough of a beast to earn the nickname of Godzilla. In its extreme Nismo incarnation, there lurks a monstrous 600 horsepower and 481 pounds-feet of torque. Nissan doesn't quote a 0 to 60 miles per hour time, but under 3 seconds is probably achievable. As constant reminders that this is a muscular machine, the GTR has things like a lap data recorder, an intelligent all-wheel drive setup and a titanium exhaust system. While Nissan's tendency to call the Maxima a four-door sports car might seem like optimistic marketing whimsy, the company at least had the decency to fit this roomy front-drive sedan with an engaging suspension setup and a lusty 300 horsepower and 261 pounds-feet of torque from a 3.5-liter V6. This award-winning engine powers various Nissan and Infiniti vehicles. In this context, we're favoring the SR trim level because its suspension tune is sportier than other Maximas and its integrated dynamics module brings a greater range of ride quality adjustment. The aluminum sports pedals, 19-inch alloy wheels and steering wheel-mounted paddle shifters all help to create more of a performance car vibe. While the regular Impreza compact car, on which the WRX line is based, has moved into a fresh generation, the 2018 WRX STI sedan sticks with the outgoing hardware.
That's not a criticism. When a car throws down a turbocharged 305 horsepower and 290 pounds-feet of torque onto the pavement through a race-bred all-wheel drive system, there aren't many nits to pick. Especially when it starts at under $40,000. Traditional muscle cars might be best suited to drag racing, but this kind of Japanese muscle is the result of a wildly successful adventure with rallying, a less popular form of motorsport in the United States, but one that demands the most incredible car control skills and a massive dose of fearlessness.